Good evening. Certain NBC executives feel it would be a little unkind to present this show without just a word of friendly warning. We are about to unfold a show featuring David Letterman, a man of science who sought to create a show after his own image without reckoning upon God. It's one of the strangest tales ever told. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you don't care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now's your chance to, well, we've warned you.
From New York, one of the most exciting cities in the tri-state area, it's Late Night with David Letterman. Tonight's guests are Bill Murray, Don Mr. Wizard Herbert, also a tour of the set, a special late night report on the shame of the city, and the Rainbow Grill Dancing Girls.
David Letterman!
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's very kind of you, and welcome to our show. It's late night, and I guess you know spring is just around the corner in New York City when the peacock girls start to molt. It's not unlike the Swallows returning to Capistrano. It's a festivity here every year in New York. Welcome to the show. You folks are apparently a bright group, bright enough at least to read the applause sign, and I certainly appreciate that. I'm very excited about this new show, and it's a big 3 or 4 days for NBC. Let's see, they of course had World War III last night starting on and then Saturday night Eric Estrada was singing, and tonight this extravaganza, but the whole thing was kind of tainted. I believe it was Friday evening, an NBC executive on his way home was arrested at Grand Central Station. His pride was showing, so they hauled him away. We have a wonderful show for you folks this evening. Comedian Bill Murray will be joining us a little bit later. A guy who has been a longtime favorite of mine, you know him as Mr. Wizard, Don Herbert will be joining us. And if that wasn't enough, we are going to be right back. It's a brand new show, a brand new set, a wonderful facility, and we're going to take you folks on a tour of this studio, this set, after you take a look at this. Thank you for being here, folks.
What would you like to see on late night television?
Various ways of joining metal.
Okay.
Something about how to join metal.
I would like to see the metal is joined.
Oh, I wish there was a show that had information on how metal is joined.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Since it's the first night of a brand new television program for me, I thought what would be fun for you, the home viewers, and everyone here in the studio audience, let's just take a look at the equipment. A rare behind-the-scenes tour here at NBC. Come on and follow me. We're going backstage in big league television. This, of course, Paul Schaefer and the boys, ladies and gentlemen. This is, we're actually backstage right now. And what I wanted to show you, first of all, you know the old expression, you've got to learn the ropes? Well, this is where it came from. Every one of these ropes supports hundreds and hundreds of pounds of delicate electronic television equipment, and it really takes a seasoned pro to know which ones you can't mess with. These are all in use. For example, I know that this one here is okay to let loose. There's nothing on the end of that one. Yeah, we'll just sleep that up a little bit later. Now, over here, oh, this is exciting. People say to me, Dave, where do the really big stars live here at NBC? And this is a stairway to one of the many luxury apartments for the stars here at NBC, and this is great. Don't use all the hot water, Rona. Now, let's see. Oh, this is exciting. You've got to be very quiet when you come back here because you'll never know who you're going to wake up. This is perhaps the innermost recess of the backstage area. I wanted to call your attention to this particular sign up there. Refreshments for To Tell the Truth personnel only. And what refreshments they are, too, huh? Now, this little item, people say, how has the Today Show been able to stay on the air for 30 years? Well, I'll tell you, back in the mid-'60s, they started manufacturing their own appliances, and I have a Today Show blender and hairdryer at home. I'm going to show you what we're ultimately working up to is the control room. I tell you, the technological advances in television, leaps and bounds, they're growing, and it takes a real precision crew to operate the stuff. Come on through here before we get to the control room. This, of course, is the green room, and you can see we have vegetables and the corn, and got some winter wheat coming in. These are some of the few vegetables here at NBC not in programming. That's a joke. Try to do as much fun as we can. People tend to underplay the role of makeup in television. Here is, of course, the makeup room at 6A. I want to just show you a little something. Hi, how's it going? Hi there. Thank you very much. Good luck. I enjoy your show. Now, see, you know who that was before makeup? That's the star of Real People, Skip Stevenson. Okay, now this is the control room that I was telling you about earlier, and not many people ever get to see the inside of one of these things because it's a pressure-packed area. It's just about like being an air traffic controller. Let's go on inside and see how this baby works. What'd I tell you? Yes, sir. You folks are in real luck. It's Stein night, I think. How's it going? Good. Oh, this is great. How are you? It's our director right over here. Al, how's it going? Nice to see you. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you. We got a guy trapped over here. This will be fun to watch. Come on. Just crawl on through here. That's all right. Go right ahead. I enjoy seeing a grown man do that occasionally. Go ahead. It's our producer, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, nothing left to chance here, you know. Well, about now you're asking yourself, gee, I wonder what else this show has. Well, I'll tell you, we have one of those. It's a pleasure for me to introduce my first guest with credits that include Saturday Night Live, the films Meatballs, Caddyshack, Where the Buffalo Roam, and Stripes. Bill Murray has become one of the top box office draws in show business. And besides that, he's a very funny man, and it's a pleasure to have him on our first program. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Murray. Come on, everybody up! Everybody up! Hi, Bill.
How's it going?
Fine, nice to see you.
Good.
Thanks for being on the show. I certainly appreciate that.
I missed the first part of the show, by the way. What happened? Is it going well? I know this is the first show, and I think this guy needs a little support. Dave Letterman. All right, okay, good. All right, okay.
Where were we?
You were going to ask me about the last time I was on your show.
Oh, yeah. Well, this may not be of any interest to anybody, and it's barely interesting to me, but let me...
They're pumped up out there.
What are you playing with there?
It's just lint. It's just lint from inside my pocket. Here, I got more.
Now, this is interesting. You were in a movie last year that was number 5 in the box office tabulations.
No, it was number 3.
Number 3. You're a major star, and yet here you are playing with lint balls.
Well, I wish that you would quit trying to run my life, Dave. Okay? No, I mean this. I mean it. I'm real. Like, you've got everyone here under your spell. It's obvious. You know, you had them doing deep breathing exercises before the show. I don't like to see it. You know, I know you're on here in late night where no one can stop you. But this kind of thing is not going to go on as long as I have some connections here in this building, the RCA building. I saw what you did to Mr. Wizard. Don Herbert. He has the wizard in his pocket. No. And you just can't use science for your own ends, Dave. You can't play God with people. When are you going to get off the high horse? Smell the coffee brewing.
So, do you miss Saturday Night Live?
Sure, I miss it. I miss going back. I miss the old gang.
Yeah.
Bob Tischler, of course, my old friend, is producing it. My brother, Brian Doyle Murray, is on the show, and one of the stars of the show. Wait a second, what's happening to me? I just fell back into your old trick, your old mind game. I'm reading these goofy questions, answering your little questions off the card. Well, do I miss Saturday night? You never missed anybody or anything. You got out of Indianapolis and didn't look back, did you? Oh, man, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to fall on you, man, and I want to be there when it hits the floor. You know what I'm saying? Better yet, I'm going to do nothing about you, even though I could. You know, it's interesting. I had a chance to strangle Richard Nixon, and I didn't, and I regret it. And here I am, inches from... I don't know what's keeping me from doing it.
So, now that you're well known, is it harder to be funny?
No, it's not. Well, it's a little bit different. You know, you go out to a restaurant, you can't eat, you know, and people want your autograph and so forth, and it's hard to eat. What am I doing? What's happening? I swear, Letterman, if it's the last thing you do, I'll make every second of your life, from this moment on, a living hell. No, go ahead and talk to them. They're all singing your song tonight, Dave. Go ahead. I'll never make it home tonight.
I'll tell you what.
I'll never make it home. Just see the he's got in my dressing room waiting.
We're
Just
going
waiting for me
to
cross
take a
him.
break, the towel off, Bill, and then we'll be right back after we take another break. Hi there. The name of the program here is Late Night. My name is David Letterman. This is Bill Murray. And Bill, you were about to say, I'm sorry, I interrupted there?
I owe you the biggest apology anyone has ever given anyone, David. I owe you an explanation for the way I behaved. I have been working like a dog on a project that no one else is even involved in. That's why it's so damn hard. I'm doing it all by myself. And doctor has told me that I could crack at any time, and unfortunately it had to happen here tonight, your first show.
Had kind of a breakdown here, huh?
Well, I have a sort of a chemical imbalance. It's not anything. It's just a salt problem, and I just need a certain amount of maintenance.
Yes.
And I forgot. I was rushing around, you know, and everything, and I just forgot, you know, to take the pill and everything.
But you're okay now.
Well, I tell you, I'm a little embarrassed, but I am okay now.
Oh, that's
I
great.
just wish you, because I love this guy. I love this guy so much, and if you knew, there's only one person that's helped me through all of this, and it's been David, with a phone call or a note, just a little scribble on, you know, from the desk of David Letterman. It's so sweet. It's there, you know, I open the
How
mailbox.
about the candygram?
A candy. It's everything. It's all these things. They add up. You know, it's like, oh, Bill, do you need a ride for Christmas or anything like that? He's always been there. The only one. And
When you called earlier today, I said, don't worry about a tie, right?
yeah. Yeah. He's been great. Ah, I love this. Can we do this?
No, we can't.
Can we do this?
No,
Come on.
No, we're not.
Can we do this? Okay, enough with the smoke. All right, I got a little bit misty and it's over.
I understand you brought a videotape with you.
Something I made in my backyard, and I'm so proud of this. This is the project I'm talking about. It's
This is what you're working so hard on.
This is it, and I've been working night and day, all by myself. I found a little animal, and this little guy was being kept and forced to work in a Chinese restaurant. He's six weeks old. That's four years in adult years old. 4 years old. And this little guy had to remember how to prepare 50 different Chinese meals. Now, you imagine a 4-year-old trying to... They were feeding this guy MSG every 3 hours, and he was a wreck, an emotional and physical wreck. And I just grabbed him, and I said, we're going out the back door. And this guy's been in my backyard and just raising just high holy
We're going to take a look at this, Bill. I guess
you
just talk over this, and the folks watch the monitors at home and use your TVs, I guess.
His name is Cancun, and there he is. This guy's in my backyard, and look at him. Look at him.
That's
great. I rented this panda so he'd have a companion. And look at this. The kids in the neighborhood, they come and they visit, and it's all for fun with this guy. And if you could have seen him just a couple of weeks ago, you know, and
it's quite a place you got there.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Well, I'll tell you, my neighborhood's gone crazy ever since this little guy rolled in.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's cost me a heck of a lot of money because all these children show up and you got to feed them, you know. And here, this one, you know, when I like them a lot, I give them a little panda. This one, I'm crazy about her. I gave her a big panda, a giraffe, and a camel. But look at what they've done. I had to put all these railings and stuff in the backyard because the bear has just taken over my life. And look at him. If you could have seen him, and now look at him. Oh. Look at him.
Yeah. That's amazing. You're doing some wonderful work, Bill.
Can we look at a little of that again?
Well, I don't know if we... do we actually have time to roll this?
Would you like it? It's all right.
Well, we leaving now?
Oh, great.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. See? I built for him, see?
It is a little more exciting the second time around, isn't it? I tell you what, we're going to we're leaving now? We'll be right back, Bill. Don't you worry.
Okay,
Mr. Wizard will be joining us in the next half hour. Welcome back there. Mr. Wizard's going to be joining us in a couple of minutes, but before that, I understand, Bill, that on your road to recent rehabilitation, something was very important to you, you mentioned earlier.
Well, besides you, big lug.
Yeah.
But my doctor told me 10 days ago, Bill, you'd have been dead today. That would have been, so I would be dead like 13 days now. He said you would be dead if it weren't for aerobic exercise. Aerobic exercise has saved my life, turned my life around, and I will talk at length about it but I know you don't have time.
No, darn the luck. So you're going to...
Yeah, well, what?
You're going to do a little of that for us, right?
Well, wait a minute. Well, it's aerobics training. It's really kind of a morning. It's a morning. I like to do it early while I'm still fresh, or sometimes after lunch after a big meal, just to blow a little up at late night like this.
Well, technically, this is morning now.
Well,
anytime after midnight, generally considered.
Yeah, well, I gotta feed Cancun in a couple hours. Say, do you guys know the new Newton-John thing?
You're making with conversation. I gotta handle you just right. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure you'll understand my point of view. We know each other mentally. You gotta know that you're bringing out the animal in me. Let's get physical.
Hello, I'm Larry Preston, Undersecretary of Education. I'm sure by now you've all heard about the President's change of public elementary and high school schedules. If not, let me refresh your memory. On February 1st, 1982, everywhere in the United States, the American school day will begin at 12 noon. That's right, school now begins 4 hours later. But the later start time does not mean that your children must stay at school later. The school day will still end at 3 o'clock. The President's official quote on the matter was, "They can leave anytime they want." It is the hope of the President and all of us here at the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare that your youngsters take advantage of this new schedule to broaden their interests, grow as citizens, and spend a lot more time watching late-night television. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to have Bill Murray with us, and I know most of you are sitting at home thinking, is this PBS? Well, no. You know, because we're on at late night, we have a chance to do some hard-hitting, in-depth news reporting during the day, and whether you know it or not, there are just a couple of things wrong with New York City. So we went out on the streets to take a closer look and filed this report that we call The Shame of the City. Not everyone survives in this urban battlefield we call New York City. This combination cityscape and war zone, the crowded landscape has claimed another gentle victim. Yes, say goodbye to the once plentiful, majestic pine tree. I'm here at 52nd and Park, once a thickly wooded forest right here in Manhattan. Now, everywhere are the dead trees, cut down in their prime, victim of some mysterious blight. Was it pollution? Maybe overcrowding? Perhaps forced out by too many delicatessens? No one seems to know what's killing our trees. There are no simple answers, only simple questions, and simple people like myself to ask them. It's truly the shame of the city. Can we take these home for firewood? Can we just bust them up a little bit? Midtown Manhattan, center of the arts, but some people are out to destroy it for everyone. I'm here on the corner of 50th and 7th Avenue where we see something, maybe it's just a little thing, but for my money, more hard evidence of the shame of the city. Planing a party, try one of these. A sudden arbitrary addition of an extra E and a missing N down here. I don't know about you, but this is the kind of thing that really gets me steamed. Excuse me, sir, could you come in here? What is your name, please?
My name is Danny.
Denny, do you work in this establishment?
Yes, sir.
Now, were you aware of the fact that there are 2 misspellings in this sign?
Yes, I know.
You do know, but yet you put the sign up.
I want to change that.
You are going to change it. Thank you very much, Denny. There you have it, a blight on society remedied, and frankly, I was proud to be a part of it. New York City, center of culture, of wealth, of power, and victim of one of the highest crime rates in the history of mankind. A crime rate that continues to climb and shows no sign of stopping, and you have to ask yourself, is it really any wonder when you take a look at the police department? A population of 10 million, and this is the police department? It's shocking, horrifying, tragic, and yet nothing is being done about it. Excuse me, sir. Do you work here?
Yes, I do.
Are you the only one who works here?
Yes, I am.
Unbelievable, yet it's true. Truly, the shame of the city. From roughly the years 1951 to about 1965, there was a television program on, Mr. Wizard. Don Herbert, of course, was Mr. Wizard. This is very exciting for me. He's here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the original, the one, the only, Mr. Wizard. Hello, Don. Nice to see you, sir. We're going to do some neat stuff here. Before we get into that, well, in those years, was there ever any serious mix-ups where a little kid was roughed up a little on the show?
No, not really, because of the kind of show we were doing, you know, anything could happen. It was perfectly all right. Only once, we did an experiment in which we would put a bottle over a candle and then light the candle with a little coil next to the wick. And one time in the rehearsal, we got the wick wet. So when we got it all set up, we turned on the current, it got hotter and hotter and vaporized the candle so that in the bottle we had a mixture of vaporized paraffin and oxygen, and suddenly it disappeared from the close-up. up into the lights. And of course I was shocked because I thought, my God, the bottle blew up. It turned out I heard it clang down behind me, so I knew that and the child was standing next to me. They were covered with water, and I was too. And then as soon as I saw that she wasn't hurt, well, I got out a towel and wiped her off, wiped myself off, and we went right on doing it.
Was she stunned a little bit?
Yeah, she sure was. And that was the only time we ever edited the show. We cut the laughter of the crew. We kept everything out.
What crew doesn't love to see a kid vaporized?
You could hear him laughing way in the control room. It was horrible.
As they say, what are we going to do this evening?
Well, I brought some of sort of my favorite, almost classical experiments to do. The first one is here is a bottle of soda water. As you know, there's gas dissolved in it. Here is a baby bottle that has a measuring along the side, and I want you to sort of guess how much gas is dissolved in this bottle. Here's 4 ounces. Is it less than 4 ounces, between 4 and 8 ounces, or more than 8 ounces?
And I have to guess?
Well, you know, go ahead.
How much? I'm guessing the amount of gas in this bottle.
That's about 10 ounces here.
Oh, I would say it's probably less than 4 ounces of gas.
Okay, you will find out. Here's what we will do.
I feel like that kid.
We've already lost some, right?
Yeah. Now, what kind of gas is in there? It's not...
Carbon dioxide gas.
Right.
Okay. We'll pour it into the baby bottle.
Do many babies drink club soda?
Not with this nipple, because this is a special kind of nipple that does not have a hole in the top.
Well, what's the point of that?
Well, they're called blind nipples, and the mother is supposed to make her own holes, see, for every side. Now, would you take it and shake it, please?
Take it and shake it?
Shake it. Take it and shake it. Keep going. We lost a little bit.
Lost some gas, but that'd be great on the subway. People would stay away from you if you had one of those, wouldn't they?
Anyway, if we hadn't lost quite so much, you will find that the entire liquid will go into the nipple, which means that there's at least more than 8 ounces of gas.
So so 10 ounces of liquid and 8 ounces of gas.
Well, there's at least 10 ounces of it, yes.
And that means you drink it, it'll kill you, right?
It'll make you burp, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Now, by the way, notice the pressure. That is hard to blow up, believe me. There we are, back to normal again.
Good heavens.
Anyway, there you are. Do you ever remember probably the most famous of all the sort of home science demonstrations is getting the hard-boiled egg in the bottle?
Yes.
Okay, well, you can't do that much anymore because they don't have milk bottles, and that's what you used to do it in.
That's right.
So I have now got a new version. This is a balloon filled with water. What you have to do is to get that balloon filled with water into the bottle.
Do you want me to do that?
Well,
you can't.
yeah, it's just too big. That's all.
I'd need special tools. We'd have to send out for them. We'd be here all night.
Let us do it in the classical way. I'll get the balloon wet so we make sure that it is nice and lubricated. Like that. I'd like you to take it in your hand like this.
I think we've all seen Shriners do this, haven't we?
I was going to light this piece of paper and put the burning paper into the bottle.
Okay.
And then I want you to put the balloon on top like that.
That'll be
now,
all right.
what is going to happen is the paper burning is going to heat up the air inside. That makes it expand, and the balloon, when you put it over the top, is going to work as a one-way valve, allowing the air to get out. But as soon as the flame goes out, the air is going to get cool again.
Okay.
It'll contract, and no outside air pressure can get in there, because this is hard, so it's going to push on the balloon and force it in.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Do you want a drum roll or anything here, sir?
Well, if you'd like.
Could we have just a small drum roll? It's the first night they play along.
Are you ready? Put the balloon on top.
Oh! Good heavens.
Now the question is,
how do you get that sucker out? Yeah.
An ice pick is handy, but the reason why it went in is because the air pressure pushed it in, because we lowered the pressure there. All we have to do is get the balloon down here like this. If you try to pull it like that, you're going to make this air pressure less. So what I'd suggest that you do is the following.
We have just 2 minutes here. We want to
2
get
minutes?
to the other one, too.
All right, well, what we do...
See, the problem is this hardly ever comes up in real life, though.
In fact, that's one of the things that people very often would say, why do you want to get the egg in the bottle in the first place?
Yeah.
Well, they're just sort of fun to do. Okay, here comes the balloon. I have a straw, you see, in there next to it.
Right.
So as you pull up on the balloon...
It's the same principle of the shoehorn.
Okay, would you please pull on the balloon?
Pull on the balloon. Well, now this is... Whoa!
There you go. You did it.
I'm afraid we don't have time for this one. We have to pause. We'll be right back, folks. Thank you very much, Paul. Don Herbert is with us, Mr. Wizard. What have you been doing since the Mr. Wizard series, I don't want to say vaporized, but was...
Well, we're doing a very exciting project, David. From the National Science Foundation and the General Motors Research Laboratories, we got a grant in which we're doing short, 80-second science sort of news pieces which are inserted into 125 local newscasts around the United States. So I'm sort of the local science reporter.
Great.
They're not doing, you know, ridiculous things like this, but real legitimate science.
Well, no, this is important. I don't think the Russians can do this one yet. Okay, Don, what's next here?
Well, I'd like to now be more serious and ask you a question which I would ask the child on the show. What's a BTU?
It's a British thermal unit, and it's a means of measuring something.
Ha-ha. Very good.
Thank you. Good night. Drive safely.
As a matter of fact, it's the amount of heat that's necessary to raise a pound of water 1 degree Fahrenheit. A hard thing to remember. So the next time you see those 3 letters BTU, here, would you take that? Take a good look at that. That is about 1 BTU, the amount of heat in one burning kitchen mat.
So this would raise 1 pound of water 1 degree Fahrenheit?
Here are 40
Can I blow this out? Oh, apparently not.
Now you can. And here, take 40 BTUs. So kind of think, what could you do with 40 BTUs?
Song Happy Birthday comes to mind.
If you're trying to boil an egg, well, you might get the water hot, but you run out of BTUs really before. And now a furnace puts out 150,000 BTUs. So the next
the
time
average household furnace?
Yeah, household furnace. So think of a pile of 150,000 matches.
Yeah, well, there go the cufflinks. Woo! All right.
Okay, now you can't do much about, it'll go out all by itself. You can't do much about BTUs because they're sort of inherent in the fuel, but once you get them up into the room where you want them, now you can do something about it. And I'd like to demonstrate. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
So if something horrible were to happen to one of your hands, you'd rather have it happen to your left hand.
Yes.
Okay, would you come around here, please? I'd like your left hand, please. Put it right down here, like that. Here's a quarter, which I'm going to put on your hand. Here's a match, which I'll give you in your good hand. If you take a tip of it like that, and I want you eventually to reach over and touch the tip of the quarter like that with the match, because I'm going to heat up the quarter with this blowtorch.
We checked this guy out, didn't we?
Now I'm going to cover your hand with some insulation.
Okay.
This is modern insulation. And I'll pat it down so there's about...
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
There's about an inch or so of insulation above your hand. I'll put the quarter on the top. Now, whatever you do, don't move that hand, because here comes the blowtorch. There's about 1,000 degrees of heat. You ready with the match? Okay, as soon as I take the blowtorch away, touch the match to the quarter. You ready? Okay, touch it. But don't move that hand.
Oh.
That's how hot that was. Now you can blow out the match. Still don't move that hand. Listen. It was... Now you can move your hand.
Well, that's certainly impressive.
Would you like the quarters?
Well, oh, yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, and as Kathy Lee Crosby would say, don't try this at home, boys and girls. Good heavens, what is this stuff?
It's vermiculite. It's a sort of a mica-like material that's been expanded. And this I get at the garden shop. They dig it into the soil to keep the soil moist. But it is used as insulation in the walls and ceiling of your house, and is very, very effective insulation.
Yeah.
There are some better on the market, but you can see it's fireproof.
Oh, yeah. Why get the good stuff?
And anyway, you can see why insulation is so important. If it could keep 1,000 degrees that close to your hand.
Now, this one actually does have a practical application,
yes,
like you said. In the wall. Yeah.
We're going to be serious now.
Yeah, terrific.
Your hand all right?
Everything is fine. Yeah, very nice. This is fascinating stuff.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate you coming by. This is Don Herbert, Mr. Wizard. We'll be back. Thank you very much, Paul. We have to turn the power on this thing off in just a moment. I want to, first of all, thank the studio audience. You folks were sweet to be here this evening. Did he say sweet to the studio audience? Unbelievable. I've never said that to a studio audience in my entire life, but thank you very much, folks. You're a handsome group of people. And by the way, if you would like Bill Murray to come to your own home and sing that same number, also my thanks to Mr. Bill Murray and Mr. Wizard, Don Herbert. And what show would be complete without the Rainbow Grill Peacock Girls, whom we saw earlier? Paul Schaefer and the band. Thank you, folks, for being here. Our announcer, Bill Wendell. And tomorrow evening, comedian Pat Paulson, screenwriter Steve Tessich, dentist Norman Hoffman will be here to review the film Reds. and a tour of NBC. That's all coming up tomorrow. So be sure and tune in, as they say, when they want you to tune in. Here now to close our show is Mr. Steve Fessler, a guy from Brooklyn who, for some reason, has committed to memory all the dialogue of the 2.5-hour classic B film Bowery at Midnight, starring Bela Lugosi. So now, for those of you who would really rather be watching old movies at this time of night, I know I would, please welcome Steve Fessler.
Bowery at Midnight with Bela Lugosi, John Archer, and Wanda McKay. Extra, extra, read all about it. Read about the escape of Fingers Dolan, paper mister. You shouldn't smoke that. It might stunt your growth. If you gotta go ahead and smoke it. I'm saving it for after dinner. Dinner? You mean you got a place for a handout? Sure, over at the Friendlies. A friendly what? Ain't you ever heard of the Friendly Mission? Nah. You're sure to get some swell food there and no questions asked. But what are we waiting for? Come on, pal. There it is. Ain't it pretty? Just like I told you. Gorgeous. And the guy that runs it, he's a soft touch. Oh, good evening. I see you brought a needy friend with you tonight. Yeah, he's a pedestrian from Pittsburgh. You're very welcome. Here you will find food for your body, as well as comfort for your troubled mind. Yeah, but I'd really like some soup. Of course, my friend. What happened to your hand? Nothing. I just hurt it a little bit. Just the same, you'd better take care of it. Nurse Malvern, here's a patient for you. Have another bowl? No, thanks. And what about a smoke? Nice cigar.